This is Low Carb Mom, your weekly support resource for maintaining a keto or low carb lifestyle. We keep you on track with a tip, low carb resources, and a meal plan for the next 7 days. Use this resource to stay focused, motivated, and inspired in your low carb lifestyle. I'm Elizabeth, and I'm joined by my cheerful co-host, Jason.
Hello.
Hi, Jason.
You threw me by calling me cheerful.
I called you cheerful, but you're not grumpy, are you?
No, but I'm not doing well.
You're not doing well? Why not?
No, not at all.
Again?
No, horrible. I had too many carbs this week.
You know what happened? I know it's going to sound like a repeat of last week, but we genuinely have a good reason. Well, as much as you can have a good reason to be eating carbs, which is that, for me anyway, we had a birthday celebration. And there was cake, and there may have been treats, etc.
And then you fell down the rabbit hole.
Right.
Well, trust me, I feel way worse than you do.
Okay. It's possible. It's possible. So today I want to talk about something. It's a little bit personal because this week was a little bit rough. And so I'm entitling this one, Does Anybody Here Take Medication? And I'm approaching this from an N of 1. This is just me. This is kind of personal, but I have a feeling that it's a relatable story. So this story is about how medication can change things in your own keto or low carb journey.
Okay.
As for example. So Jason, this is not about you taking medication. I don't want to.
No.
We're not generalizing between the two of us.
Are you talking about a wrinkle or a consideration?
Yeah, it's a wrinkle and it's a consideration. So when I ask this question, when I have this question in my head, does anybody here take medication? I'm always reminded of, I think, my favorite Kinks song. So and I'm, of course,
Kinks?
trying Kinks. Yeah.
The Kinks?
The Kinks.
Famous 60s, 70s, 80s band.
Yeah, Ray Davies.
Out of the UK.
Yeah. You know, Ape Man, Lola, etc.
Yeah. Okay, sure.
They're awesome.
Oh, I know Lola. I'm just pretending.
You should know Lola. So, of course, I'm trying to deflect from the serious issues that we're all mitigating with our commitment to reduced carbs by reminding you of hopefully your youthful love for all things the Kinks, including that track, where Ray Davies asks, is there a doctor in the house? Does anybody here take medication? And according to the crowd, because it was a live performance, everybody there was on medication, Jason, and they were loving it.
Is there a doctor in the house? Does anybody here take medication?
All right.
They couldn't be more overjoyed to join in on being on medication. So why don't you take a break from your puritanical chokehold on carb intake and like what I've been doing, and go ahead and rock out to the Kinks' best, one of the Kinks' best, I think, live performances of Destroyer. I found it on YouTube, and you can find the link to it on www.lowcarbmom.ca. And I think you may have to put in the W's. That's why I said them. There's some kind of a subdomain reason for that. Now, the reason I'm saying go and get that link, either find it on YouTube or find it on my post that I've made where I've got the link collected there for you. I don't know why, but that track, Jason, was impossible to find again. And it's definitely something that is from my history that I require to still be there. But it's like it's been scrubbed off of iTunes and Spotify.
That's weird.
It's weird. All right, so let's have a little talk then. And I'll relate this back, but about how old people exercise. Okay?
Old?
Yeah, I'm kind of being a little bit jokey here, but let me explain. Last week, I was finally invited to perform what I sincerely hope will be my last test to ascertain the real condition and the fitness of my heart. It was a modified VO2 Max test in which, so this one, you work to exhaustion while your heart and lung function are being tracked.
Like on a treadmill.
On a treadmill, usually with a face mask on and your nose is plugged. And if you have a heart condition, you may still be asked, I discovered, you may still be asked to do a modified VO2 Max test. I have previously undergone other tests, including an ECG, several, stress test, echocardiogram, and the most invasive was the angiogram, which I didn't know this, Jason, but they categorize that actually as surgery.
Yeah.
The angiogram. So yeah, we did that. So I have 2 cardiologists that I was working with before. They were all set to schedule me for surgery, which I can talk. I'm not going to go into details.
But it would fix the problem.
Yeah. It's not something that we need to go into the details about right now. I mean, if
You'll
you
be
want to
bragging
know,
about it once it's over.
if you are desperate to know, just reach out in the comments, okay, down below. Go ahead. And that's, again, www.lowcarbmom.ca. But then out of the blue, a third cardiologist
They come
suddenly
in threes.
appeared. She just it's like she just appeared like on Star Trek, where people just magically appear.
Yeah.
How do they, from the
Because you were
transporter?
so interesting, she had to get in there.
Right. She transported in. She
Yeah.
came out of the sparkly air and scooped me up and said, I needed another test for sure before I could have
And
surgery.
you said, let's go.
And I said, let's go. And that was back in November. And so when I finally got booked for this test last week, I was kind of excited. So I completed it last Friday and I got my first real exercise in probably over a year because I've been told not to exercise. So it was kind of fun to do it and go as hard as I possibly could.
Cut loose.
Very definitely cut loose. And honestly, Jason, I felt pretty good afterwards.
Good.
As you know, it feels good to go
So
running.
you don't need, so your heart's fine then.
That's what I tried to tell them. But unfortunately, towards the end of that test, the nurse practitioner became a little bit serious, like they sometimes do. And she immediately got on the phone with that new cardiologist, which I didn't even know was possible, by the way. She ordered 6 blood tests and put me on medication. And I didn't go into detail about the blood tests, but I will say that I checked the results and they're all dead center, perfectly normal.
Brag about it.
Yeah, I will brag about it because those blood tests have me perfection human.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what's the problem then?
So here's what I learned. So given how long that I've been waiting for this test and how difficult it's been to just get answers from the doctor, I was amazed how quickly the nurse could contact my cardiologist. Having never met her. That's right. So I've never met her before in person. So I was only like 50-50 that she even existed. But it turns out this VO2 Max test has proven the results are she does exist. She has a phone and she can answer the phone.
Well, good.
So that's
So
awesome.
What did you? I trust the outcome of this test led to an implication for those craving the low carb diet.
Right. So oh no, it's going to go not that direction.
No,
No,
I
it's
thought
not.
I knew what podcast I was signing up for, but I guess I
Okay.
was wrong.
The medication I've been recommended to take is a low-dose beta blocker. This is extremely common for people to be given this for many different reasons.
The
So
buffer.
in my case, it's meant to regulate an irregular or a skipped heartbeat that happens when I'm under stress or when my heart rate is very high, like during the stress test, when I was walking up a hill as fast as I possibly could boot it up there. And the doctors don't like to see this level of irregularity in me because it adds pressure to an already delicate situation with a valve and ventricle.
Yep.
It's just very specific. And since the prescription addresses a current problem in my heart, it makes sense for me to give it a try. So, although I did still ask the nurses for a lot of information in addition
Due diligence
to
is fine.
which, yeah. So the one thing that I asked was, is there going to be any side effects that I should know about, particularly in light of being on a low carb diet or being in a keto chemical situation in my body?
So you are coming across with that. That's what I was asking you. You told me I was crazy, and yet here we are. This thing is zigging and zagging. It's an adventure ride. Keep going.
All right. So she said that no, there wasn't going to be any side effects to do with being low
Okay,
carb.
that was a good episode.
I said I was going to check that answer on the internet, and she said, don't check that answer on the internet.
Sound advice.
So I laughed and said, why am I going to find a reason? And she said, yeah, you're going to find it because you're going to find it with everything. So just don't check. So of course I checked. So here's what I have to say about this. Sometimes in the pursuit of a bigger picture health outcome, we may need to take some other action which can interrupt the progress of some other outcomes.
Yes.
Okay. So starting or changing medication is one of those actions.
You gotta be careful because you need those meds.
Right. While this report that I'm giving you right now represents only an N = 1, like it's just me.
Sample size of you.
Sample size of only me. Let me give you a summary of my experience on a low dose of beta blockers and no other medications are involved. Okay.
So if you, our friend, the listener, find yourself in a similar situation,
I don't know.
maybe this will be useful to you.
Maybe not at all. But I think
Roll the dice.
But this is this is what I have to report this week.
That's fine. That's fine. I get where you're coming from. You're trying to do this low carb thing.
Yeah.
You're trying to get your system in order.
Yeah.
You're trying to get levels to where they should be.
Yeah.
Reduce that inflammation.
Yeah.
Now you have a drug coming in that is definitely necessary, but is threatening to do something to that delicate, precious balance.
That's right. Okay.
Tell us about it.
After starting the medication, my heart rate and my blood pressure are generally lower. So my heart rate is about 52 now. I'm not sure what it is right now. I think you've raised it to 65. Congrats.
Oh, fine. I'm sitting here with a 130, so I don't know what you're bragging about.
Okay, and my blood pressure is around 110/50, which is nice and low.
Yeah.
Although right now it's probably
Again,
higher.
Doesn't sound like there's much wrong with you.
Okay. I did feel extra tired during the first week. I definitely noticed that tiredness. I did sleep better, which some people complain that they sleep worse, but I actually slept better compared to before. I have felt more relaxed.
On a beta blocker, low dose beta blocker.
On a low dose beta blocker, which is not a sleeping pill at all.
No.
So don't ask for it for that purpose.
Don't ask me about that.
And I did feel more relaxed and a little bit less anxious in general. Okay, so those are all I'm going to say.
Okay.
Things that to notice and things that I didn't mind that seemed to be good. However, I also felt an increase in my appetite and a decrease in my satiation after eating my normal amount of food.
Disruption.
So that's a bit of a disruption. And this meant that I started to feel unusually hungry outside of my normal eating windows. I felt as though the food was not filling me up. And I noticed that if I ate highly satisfying foods, such as like fatty meats, which I did focus on doing to try to mitigate this, I would feel satisfied after I was done eating. And then I waited for 20 minutes. So that's one of those things that I had
white knuckle it for those 20 minutes.
I kind of had to white knuckle it, or I would like sip tea or sip fizzy water and just, try to distract myself a little bit. But since you're tired, it's not like you're doing activities. So it is definitely an awkward period of time. But I would say that I think that period of time is lessening now a little bit. So my cursory internet search suggests that weight gain, in quotes, was going to be a side effect of beta blockers. So obviously I was on the lookout for this, but no one mentioned that the added feeling of hunger and the reduced feeling of satiation was going to be one of these components. Now, some people, Jason, do feel sick to their stomach when they're eating. So there is some sort of sensation with eating and hunger that seems to be related, but they don't sort of say that out loud or very clearly. So just so that you know. I believe that some of the side effects will be more pronounced in the first 1 to 2 weeks because that's what the pharmacist said and that's what the nurse said. And already I'm going to say things seem to be normalizing a little bit. If there are any other factors causing weight gain, which I also read about on the internet, which could be a side effect of beta blockers, it could be because of like a reduced metabolism due to reduced heart rate, due to reduced physical activity because you're feeling more tired. So I'm aware of this for myself as well. And of course, it could be playing in if anybody else is having these effects. So I think that these can all be mitigated is what I'm saying through being aware of it and then being more mindful and also just having patience with the process.
Take it easy on yourself.
Right. So my beta blocker journey that I've just described seems very specific, but I think that many people go through similar experiences, not just with beta blockers, but with something that is a medical intervention that interrupts whatever's happening. So I would say a couple of things. Prioritize your health, longevity, and your personal safety over and above your weight or appearance goals, because there is no point in looking pretty if your heart or other parts can't keep up with your beauty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's a very long-winded way to get to what I think is a tip or a mindset or a way to frame it inside yourself to sort of get through one of the hard aspects of being part of keto.
Low carb is not a diet, so you're going to be doing it long term. So you should anticipate having to go on something at some point to deal with some issue. So if that's the case, do you have other strategies? Can you get creative around dealing with that increased hunger and lowered level of satiation,
Exactly.
including just be as consistent as you can in the normal times so that when those periods happen, they won't hit you as hard or break your
Exactly.
pattern as hard.
Yeah. Yeah, you should be my coach. Can you be my keto coach?
I can scream at you all day long with a bullhorn, and I can blow a whistle at you, and I'll tell you to keep going.
Okay, because I think
100%.
that might work better than just standing next to me while I'm filling my bowl with chips with your eyebrow sort of raised at me.
I can start yelling if you
need
want.
to start
That's
yelling.
totally
Yeah,
fine.
I
I need
do.
a sweatshirt that says coach on it, though.
I require. Okay, we'll get you a coach sweatshirt.
Done.
Okay, good. Okay, resource for the week. I got in touch with this guy on the internet.
Oh, brother. Another one of these characters.
Whose name I'm guessing, is Eric Kilby. And he has this this channel called The Kilby Life. I believe he also calls himself Carnivore Dad.
Okay.
Which is adorable. Although, maybe not from his point of view, because he is the father of, I think, 10.
Yay. He's
Yeah.
a busy dad.
So that is quite a lot. And he's going through a health journey himself where he went keto, and I believe he's now gone carnivore. And for 60 days, he's actually doing a thing, which is a trend right now, but he's got a specific reason for doing it. You just have to watch his videos to kind of get the context, where he's doing beef, butter, bacon, and eggs for himself.
Sounds good.
So it does sound delicious, actually. And 60 days, like what could really go wrong in 60
Nothing.
days? You know, you're going to do it. Again, you're going to be an N of 1. But I'm recommending him because I find him to be very friendly. He's not a large channel, but he's very dedicated. He's been upgrading his equipment. His audio's better. His video's getting better. He's working on lighting.
So all you AV snobs there can put your noses down and just give the content a chance.
Definitely give this content a chance, because what he's doing is almost like a daily vlog. It'll definitely give you the content that you might be interested in, which is how on earth do you get through 60 days or even one day of beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. Actually, the answer might surprise you. He makes noodles out of eggs. Like, he makes these cool egg noodle things. Anyway, it's really, really cool. I just find him to be very calming. He's very, like, it's not that he's low energy, but he's very low anxiety. He's not one of these up, you know, constantly kind of increasing your anxiety while you're watching him. So I think that keeping the anxiety low, keeping on target and focused is a huge advantage in this. And he's doing 60 days of this. So you could watch 60 days of it, one per day. And then if that's all you want to get out of it, you could start again from the beginning. And it's like you have a buddy with you, and he's kind of just teaching you how to do, you know, just how to be calm and be keto. Carnivore is a subset of the keto lifestyle. So carnivore does fit in the keto lifestyle. So that is all that I have for resources, because honestly,
what was that again, that channel?
It's called The Kilby Life, and you can go to lowcarbmom.ca.
The link's right there.
And the video is, the latest video is there, and you can easily find his channel from that.
Sounds like Low Carb Mom's a handy resource.
Thank you very much. I do find that Low Carb Mom is a very handy resource. And one of the things that I add into every single Monday or Friday, once a week post, is a low carb meal plan with recipes that are also included in the newsletter in the archives of lowcarbmom.ca. And if you don't want to use my archives and my recipes, you can at least use it as inspiration, as a scaffolding to get your day going. So I think that it's a good resource. I'm trying to offer it to everybody as a resource. And the whole point is to be able to communicate back and forth with each other. So find this week's meal plan at lowcarbmom.ca. Recipes will be available there too. If you join as a supporter, you can interact with me and the Low Carb Mom community, which, Jason, is growing. It's growing daily.
Good.
It's amazing. We've got a decent cohort now of low carb moms. And by the way, it's okay if you're a dad or not a mom and you're just a woman or a man or a girl or a boy. Anybody's welcome. And you can interact with me at the Low Carb Mom community. We touch base every week to share our progress, trials and tribulations, and support each other through the hard parts. Hear more from me and from Jason, my delightful co-host at the other podcast named Hello Smileton. This is our comedy fiction podcast designed to start your week with a laugh. In order to be tolerable in the long term, everything on my plate must be delicious and packed full of positive energy. This is a complete approach to life that will see us through strong and happy, both physically and mentally. So subscribe to Hello Smileton at hellosmileton.com. I want you to get out there, have a strong and healthy week, stay mindful, stay organized, get off the bad drugs, stay on your appropriate medications, and we'll see you again on next Monday. Bye-bye.
Bye.